What else? Travel around the world. Where? Where? Spain. Where in Spain? Barcelona.
You were where, what did you say, you had those cookies or whatever it was?
Amazing. Giving back to friends. Who else? Oh, non-profit dance school for kids. What else? Donate 100 grand to charity. What charity? Boys and Girls Club. Awesome. A closet the size of my bedroom. Oh! Color coordinated shoes and color coordinated. Yeah. I got tickled on that one.
My dream is to study all the friends, all my nieces, nephews, grandchildren, and to continue on that living.
I love this. Two more. Golf course. Oh, how many guys are going to get a dream car? 7 or 8 of them. How many guys are going to have a garage of dream cars?
Oh, bunch of them.
You turn into like one for each day of the week. Right?
I want my kid to have the coolest car at college. I don't care what it is.
Yeah, I love it.
Do you want me to text Nick and see if he's still planning on it?
I think he's
Oh, yeah.
And then, but yeah, text
Then I'll
him.
write back to him then.
That'd be great. Does it feel good to do this? So why don't you do it every day? Or at least once a week? How long has it been since you did it? Vitality? Yeah. And you taught it. What is your income compared to vitality? So I didn't finish it, I didn't go back to it, I didn't revise it, I didn't revisit it. Right. I started a week. So Lab Vitality, we went through a dream building summit. We spent 3 hours dream building. Right? But how many times do you revisit this? Do you have the conversations? Do you sit down? Do you visualize? See, I do this every day. Every day I sit down and I visualize what I want. Now I'm going to teach you the coolest thing. So we did vision boards last time. Vision boards last time was kind of cool. Listen, here's the problem. How many guys are sitting at home every day in front of the vision board? I'm never home. I'm never home. And I'm a snob when it comes to decor. I don't want to hang that thing up. In my condo, like it doesn't go, it doesn't match. So I have a solution. You guys want to learn the solution? Yeah. Grab your phone. Grab your phone. Oh, it's even better. This is even better. They have these things called smartphones now. And Nick taught me this. He's like, he's not going to put a dream board in his $8 million house. Where do you put a dream board in an $8 million house? But it's valuable to have a dream board, right? It's valuable to be able to visually put stuff in your mind because your mind doesn't know what is true or untrue. Your subconscious doesn't know. So if you plan good things and plan what you want and you visit it all the time, your mind will start and your body will start going in the direction that you give to your mind. So they have these things called a camera roll. A camera roll. You know what I call this now? It's a digital vision board. And I've looked at this thing way more in the last 3 weeks than I ever looked at it when I made one. And I liked my vision board. I liked doing that. I mean, this is something that I've done for years. This is so cool. I'm very excited about this. I was just talking about you. The man that doesn't need any introduction and can interrupt me at any time. I'm like, I don't care what's the thought I'm in. So guys, we have really a big honor to have Global Ambassador Nick Sarnicola join us in the All-Star Success Summit. So you guys will stand here.
I ran up all the escalators. Make me nervous. so you guys have been at it for a couple hours. So far, so good?
Yeah.
All right, we're only going to be about 3 or 4 more hours, and then we'll get you guys out of here. So, what did we spend most of the day on? Dream building?
Yeah, we did where they want to go, what they need to change to get there. We did an hour of personalities, and then we did mindset with Tara, and now we're going into dreams.
Good. Very good.
Just told them about this great idea about a camera roll.
Hey! Technology. So, I would say, first of all, how many teams you guys think are doing this right now? All the teams are getting together. You know, all the teams are getting together and sharing. But going to, sharpening the axe and getting better and taking it layers deeper, you guys are the ones that are most committed to growing and most committed to succeeding and most committed to taking the next level. So, the reason why it's weird is some people are like, oh, we have to do a team meeting on Sunday, or, well, Sunday's supposed to be off. No, we always did conventions Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Always. We just stopped doing Sunday so that you guys could use that as a team, right? So, and then some teams, maybe the leaders aren't as focused, they're not as driven, maybe the team's not. So they're like, oh, well, let's just not do anything. Like, well, that kind of defeated the purpose, right? The purpose of Sunday was for you guys to be able to have a more intimate breakout, to be able to share and learn in a more intimate setting, right? So there were many groups that got together. Many groups that got together. But not at this level of specifics, not at this level of organization, and not at this level of hunger. So bravo to you guys for doing it. Obviously, that's a testament of your leadership. That's a testament of the people that you're working with. That's a testament of the ambassadors that are part of this organization. So let it be known that you guys are doing the right thing, that you're doing it with the right people. And people, if you're doing the right thing is secondary to doing the right people. You guys are doing it with the right people. So now it's just, I saw me on there, so I'm guessing that's you.
Yes.
I'm guessing that's not her when she wrote me, right?
Tara.
Tara, I'm assuming she was talking about me as a Tara. She's talking about who? You. Right? She's talking about you. So, that is always the variable. That is always the variable, right? There's 1,000 companies, there's 1,000 products, there's 1,000 this, there's 1,000 that. And some people think that, well, but just, it's not the company's a problem. Go to that company. The company's a problem. Go to that company. The company's a problem. At some point, we got to stop and say, all right, people do it in relationships all the time. They do it in relationships all the time, right? And at some point, we got to look internally and say, all right, maybe there's some things I got to work on, some things I got to fix. And I know you guys probably already talked about that, so I'll fast forward to a couple things that I want to talk about. One of the major things for me is you guys had a moment or went to the event, you captured something, right? You captured something. How many of you guys, there's usually two things, a story or a training, right? So maybe it was Jason's training, or Ernest's training, or the close, the event, or whatever, right? Or Ryan's CEO speech. There's 1,000 trainings, and there's 1,000 stories. How many of you guys, that your number one key moment was a training? How many of you guys, it was a story? How many of you guys, there was a male, the person that delivered was a male? A man. How many of you guys was a female? This is why we're doing this. Half of you got moved by the training, half of you got moved by a story, half of you got moved by a male, and half of you got moved by a female. And I can add more layers to this, and it would keep doing this and keep doing this, and it'd be 75-25, 60-40, 50-50. The only way to be able to connect to all of you is to run events like this. So that right there should have been, the aha moment for you guys as to why we do events. So there's no way to hit all of you all the time on every level unless we bring it all together in one place. So, 6 months from now, we're going to do it again. And you're going to want to come back, even if it's just you. How many of you guys came back, this is your second or third time, whatever, or more, right? Fantastic. Great. Did you catch something different this time you caught last time? Yes. Yeah. So usually the first time it's a story you'll catch, the second time it's a story, and then the third time it becomes a training. Right? And then the fourth time it becomes something super specific in the RD training. Man, that's what I'm messing up. And then the fifth time it goes back to a story, right? So it's kind of, you got to go through this process. So, we're all at different places at different time inside of our career, but we got to stay plugged in. When I look at this business, you got to start with a longer-term goal. You got to give this thing 3 years. You gave college 4 years, some of you give it 5, some of you give it 6. I gave junior college 2.5 and still didn't get that stupid piece of paper. Right? So we'll commit to that. How many of you guys have a career that you went to college for a certain amount of years to get the degree to go in that career, or you've been at that career for a certain amount of time to be able to do what you do now at a management level? Well, somebody give me an example. Say it again. Engineer. So you had to go get an engineering degree. How long did that take? How much training did you have to go through as an engineer before you were at a level of not just the person that works for the engineers, but engineer, like you're 10 years. That's 14 years. Anybody else? Teacher. Schooling was 4 or 6? 4. And then teachers, they put you right in. They throw you right in the fire usually.
Well,
So,
we also have to do a practicum of student teaching.
okay, how long?
So that could be about half years, 3 years.
Yep. So 5 years before she could run that class. A couple more examples. Military. How long before you were one of the folks that's like, all right, I am not mopping this floor right now. I'm not taking this home. 3 years. 3 years.
So, school was 5, and then working through my position stuff from 2 into where I'm at in the company is another 11, and then back into more schooling now.
To go to the next 16 years, you still got to go back to school to go to. Any doctors in the room? What's a doctor go to school for? How long? 10 years! And then they got to go try to pay off that $250,000 in debt. Right? So I point this out because people's expectations are like, well, I joined this company, and I've been working in 5 years college and 11 years engineer, and I make, I'm just going to pick a number, 100,000. I make $8,000 a month. I've been doing this 3 months. Why might I not replace that $8,000 a month? You've been working 16 years to get to that number. You want to give this 16 days? 16 weeks? Even 16 months is really not, that impressive. That's only a year and a half to replace what took you 16 years to do. So you got to pick a number like 3 years out, depending on your skill set. Your skill set's really low. I can say that only people that went through it can say things that are mean. If your skill set's really low, like mine was at age 18, I had 2 skill sets. I could play college, I could play baseball really good, and I could shotgun a beer out of the bottom of a can from home. I was expert level. Yeah, it's impressive. Sometimes they challenge me, every once in a while still, see if I still got it on vacations, like, oh, you heard that you can shotgun? Yeah, then I still got it, But the point is, I didn't have the skills, right? So it took me 5 years. 5 years, right? 4.5 to get to like that 6-figure income, and then 5. So, what is your expectations here? Now, some people use that as the crutch. Well, he said give it 5 years, so it's an excuse to do nothing right now. That's the hard part, right? They're like, well, been doing it 4 years, still nothing. Well, no, you've been involved for 4 years. You haven't done it. You haven't consistently, with discipline. You didn't show up to work every day like you did as an engineer. Otherwise, you'd be there. How many guys have to go to ongoing education in these careers? Yes, so what should your expectation be here? You want me to watch movies? Yes! Yes, of course I do. And what's weird, this is what's weird. This is it's not weird. This is the thing that is the hardest for me to accept. The only reason you do it in your career because if you don't show up every single day, you show up every day because you what? Have to. Did you ever say have to? Yeah. Not one person yelled out want to. You show up every day because we have to. And if you continually don't show up when you have to, what happens? If you treated, so let me get this straight, you'll show up for someone else's dream because you have to build someone else's dream because you have to, but you won't show up for your own. This has to be a have to. This becomes a have to in terms of showing up. Just showing up. The skill will get better, the skill will get better, the skill will get better, the skill will get better. It is impossible. I've got all my leaders right now, for those of you guys that want advanced level learning, you feel like you're at that level, go read the book, The Talent Code. She's got you reading the book right now first.
Go read that book. Go read that.
The Talent Code. The Talent Code is, and I'm not going to get in the rant I did with ambassadors, it's going to boil down to, it's going to boil down why are some of these people so talented, these amazingly talented people, why are they so talented? What's the scientific study on some of this stuff? And there's 3 factors, but one of them is the amount of repetition. Now that's, Malcolm Gladwell wrote about that in a book called Outliers. It was all about 10,000 repetitions, right? 10,000 repetitions. Guys, if you made 10,000, if you challenge 10,000 people, do you think you're going to have it down? Not only will you have it down, but you're going to make 10, 15, 20, 30 grand a month. I still to this day don't believe I personally have prospected 10,000. I don't think I'm there. Maybe 5,000? Personally. I picked up the phone and said, hey, I want you to do this. I want you to look at this. Or I met somebody in the street, like, I want you to... 5,000 is still a lot. My conversion ratio, I probably enrolled in my career networking. Maybe 500? I'm just guessing. That means I batted 1 for 10. 10%. 9 out of 10 times, they're not interested. So it wasn't that I get 10 out of 10. It's that I've done so much of it that it's inevitable that I'm going to get really good at it and that somebody's going to join. Now, the better you get at it, the better people you get to join. Why is it that, Nick, you recruit that guy and he always goes ambassador? Because now I'm so good at it that I can get the best people that are already trained, developed, and skilled in other careers and immediately run them to rank. That's it. All I did was just way more than you've done so far.
So, Nick, you're saying I can do 1 out of 10 and make $11 million?
As long as you do it 5,000 times. But no, you can't do 1 out of 10 and do that. You got to get 500 out of 5,000. 500 out of 5,000, yes, right? So I just want to put some perspective on it, because the only thing that's preventing from that is the amount of repetition. Now, Outliers talks about the amount of repetition, so that's another good book, and that's a scientific study on why these people are so special, and they're like, it's the amount of repetition. Talent Code is the science behind what happens in your brain with that repetition. This is pretty deep. It's pretty deep. So maybe you restart with Outliers, and then go to Talent Code. Talent Code's like the chemical in your brain that's created and what it does to your neurons and your neurotransmitters as you're doing the repetition. Like, it's that, right? Because that's science. That's science. And when you understand, when it's a scientific thing, you're like, wait, let me get this straight. If I just do this 10,000 times, here's what's chemically happening in my brain, that's why these people, yep. Now, the other half of that is, so that's the thing that validates. That's the validator. We're always driven by 2 things. Heart and head, heart and head, heart and head. The other thing is, though, if you're not motivated, if you can't find something that motivates you to do it 10,000 times, you'll never do it 10,000 times. So you got to find something that inspires you enough or angers you enough. It doesn't have to be positive. It can also be negative. I am so sick and tired of this situation, I'll do anything to change it. That's a good thing. I'm so disgusted with this situation, I'll do anything to change it. That's a great thing. I cannot live another day. Like, how many of you guys saw Laquila Brown, 252 pounds lost? I missed it because I was up in the the dressing room. I was watching it, so I couldn't hear what she's saying very well. But Laquila sent me a Facebook message because I posted a 100-pound loser, and she saw it and said, if I don't lose 100 pounds, I'm going to die. So stepped in, found out what city she was in, connected her with a woman that was in her city. I didn't even know she joined. I went to Jacksonville a year ago, and this woman gets on stage, and it's like, talking about how she lost 100 pounds, da-da-da, and she goes, it's that guy back there that I sent a message to that saved my life. And I was like, so I went to thank Nick. And I was like, at that moment, I realized, do you guys know how you can't really see the pictures?
Yeah.
And unless you click on the profile, open it up, and go through the pictures. But on a fan page, you can't click on the picture, go through them anyway, so I never knew. I didn't know it was her. So I ran stage, gave her a big hug the first time I met her. Was like when she lost 100 pounds. So now she's 252 pounds now. 252 pounds. So guys, this is what we get to do. Right? This is what we get to do. You get to create these stories. What triggered the Laquila? I went off here. There was something.
If you're not motivated to do it.
So what motivated her was this. It was a negative situation. What motivated her was a negative situation. It wasn't a positive situation. It wasn't like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna be number one at the bikini contest. That's what was motivated. It was, I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die if I don't do this. Now, the real trick is to figure yourself out and go, okay, am I motivated through my pleasure? Am I motivated through pain? Which one motivates me, right? I hate to lose more than I like to win. So I'm more motivated by, I hate to lose more than I like to win. I don't know, so that gets me going more than, hey, well, maybe we can do this now. Maybe we can do that now. So figure out what moves you. Figure out what motivates you. So making this go full circle. You got to commit to a long term. You got to put the repetition in. You got to do that consistently. It's got to be because it can't just be I've been in this long, so they said if I was in this long, you'd be rich. You got to be in this long, doing something consistently on an ongoing basis, and then it's an end. You want to know what part of the tail code was?
Yes.
It was finding the right mentor. It was 2 to 3.
Ooh.
Finding the right mentor.
Finding the right
Finding the right mentor. Why did the 10 Russian superstar tennis players come from some weird village in the middle of nowhere? How do 10 are the best in the world? Well, because there was a person there that ran that same camp. So they were saying it didn't have anything to do with the person. Very little to do with the person, the girl. It wasn't that there was 10 of the most talented girls ever in the history of the sport that all lived, in that same era. What's the chance? It was that they built the muscle, with the person that knew how to do it. Right? If you combine those two, you got people in here that know how to do it. You got people in here that know how to do it. So let's go do it. 6-month sprint with a long-term commitment. 6-month sprint with a long-term commitment. One of the greatest lies in this industry is it's a marathon, not a sprint. That is a lie. I've never seen someone who did not sprint ever move rank. It is a marathon of sprints. What we do is a marathon of sprints. We make a 6-month sprint, we regroup, we grab the people that want it, we make a 6-month sprint. For how long? Forever. That's what we do. Like, how long do you show up to work for? It's just like, well, so I thought I just did this for 2 years, and then for the next 38, I didn't do anything. But you can take time off as long as you understand that when I do, my business will go backwards, and then I got to sprint again. So those are calculated risks that you take. Those are calculated. For me, I was less aggressive for a 12-month time frame. We got pregnant for the first time, and now I'm in sprint mode. I'm in aggressive sprint mode, and that's what life is, right? That's a lot of this. So I'm way over time. I got to go. So I started here. I started the Hyatt, came here, went back there, went back to here, and now I got to go back to the Hyatt. It was brilliant scheduling on my part, and I got a meeting that starts at 7. So all but out of here. Have a great rest of your event here. I'll see you very soon. You're live with me. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, Nick. Woo!
At the beginning earlier, I started by saying how many teams you think are doing this at this level with this level of this specific. With binders and like you have a special leader and special leaders to think through this stuff. And this is the most thought through team meeting out of any of them in the entire country. So give it up.
Yeah. Woo!
Thanks, Carlos. So in 5 minutes, I'm officially late for that meeting. So we gotta wrap up really quick. And then I'm gonna bring up your ambassadors. By the way, we're gonna go a little long, but if you guys need to leave, you guys can leave. But they still have some training to do. And I thought there's nothing I wanted to really cut, and I wanted to add value, and Tara was incredible. I was going to say, like, Tara, stop talking. So I wanted to kind of close our dream worksheets. That sound good? Yeah. All right, and then we'll get the 2-star trio up here to crush and boom. He said something that really hit me when he was just standing here. He said, you got to find the thing that motivates you. And that was exactly what we were starting to do. You got to find something that motivates you. And sometimes it's not going to be the yacht, the boat, the vacation, or whatever. It is going to be the told you so. It's going to be proving it to the people. When I got started on the equation of not like, yeah, I want to get out of my financial despair, but I could have gone and made money anything I did. Right? I could have taken a job. I could have done internet marketing. That would have been it. I got started with Buy because I needed to prove a ton of people wrong. And I wanted to show it in their face. So some of you guys, that's here to be your motivator. In this specific instance, I want to teach you guys the muscle of dreaming again. And it's got to be something consistent. This cannot be something that you don't revisit again. It's a vitality. Because then it's not going to be repetition. It's not going to be something that you master. It's not going to be something that becomes wired into your myelin, wired into your DNA. Because just as much as activity is important, so is visualizing what you want. If you visualize what you want every single day, this is the times that I do it. Number one, I do it when I'm in the shower. You know why? In the bath? Because I can't turn on the phone. So this is one of the most important times that I visualize, that I think about what I want. But any time that I get an opportunity, I'm waiting in line. I'm on a plane. Can't talk on a plane. Right? There's two different times. Before I go to bed, look through, and I look and I start to see it. So we're talking about creating a camera roll. We're talking about creating a camera roll. Camera roll. A photo, a digital dream board that you can go visual with. How many guys can do this? Yeah. How many guys will do this? Yeah. I don't have time to teach it to you today. It's really simple. So you go on Google Images. That's my Miami condo. I didn't say I want it. This is my condo.
Right.
This is happening. Cool. Bora Bora. You guys want to go to Bora Bora? Tahiti?
Yes.
Hello. That's Italy.
Right?
Venice.
Yeah.
Want to go to Venice?
We're gonna be living together.
Singapore. Singapore. This is a cool fact about Singapore. 1 out of 6 Singaporeans is a millionaire. 1 out of 6 Singaporeans is liquid millionaire. I want to go. Ferrari, apple red. I don't even like this. Do I know what kind it is? I grabbed it. I know. It's like, the car guys are like, Josh, like, how'd you pick that one? I was like, it was the prettiest one. Google Images. G-Wagon, Mercedes G-Wagon. Why? Because I like it. A boat. I took Kyle Fawcett's boat. I don't even want a boat. I don't want a boat. I guess he's sick sometimes. But this is a pretty cool boat. Josh wants a boat. He likes to scuba. He likes to fish. I think fishing is awful. That's a cool boat. I want the boat. That's a boat in the daytime. Closet. Hello, closet. I want a closet the size of a master bedroom. This is the Georgia Dome for 50,000 people. And that's going to be in a couple days being photoshopped on the screen. Right now it's Tim McGraw. It's going to be me. That is me doing my crowd walk. This is an orphanage. We're going to build. This is a home gym. 2 levels. Weights on the bottom, cardio up top. Why not? I don't know. It's just like a bathroom movie. It's so white. This is our kitchen in our condo, which is going to be overlooking the sand, overlooking. I want a giant, huge kitchen just overlooking the ocean, the center of the house. Beach makes me happy. So it doesn't have to be specific. It doesn't I don't know what this is. I saw this on Google. I'm like, I want to be there. Right. Palm trees. Some of you guys are like, beach is not your thing. You like mountains. You like Jacksonville, Michigan, or Jacksonville, Wyoming. You like Vancouver. You like Canada. You like whatever. You have your idea of happy. Palm trees make me happy. Beaches, like aqua water, to me is like, whoa. So I saw that. Monaco. You guys want to go to the Grand Prix, right? It's like one of the greatest places in South France. This is where it's starting. I obviously want to add more, but you guys got to do this. You got to visualize where you're going. You got to know what you're after. I want you guys to turn the page. Second page, top is achieving your perfect day. I'm going to go diving in. It says achieving your perfect day, so it's 2 pages later. Achieving your perfect day at the top. I'm not going to go into the perfect day because some of you guys have been through this exercise of really visualizing your perfect day. I don't have time for that. But Nick said, what is the number you got to get to? 8 grand a month, 5 grand a month, 10 grand a month. What do you need to get to? Of all those dream goals and your dream lifestyle, what do you need to get to? What's the figure? Is it 5 grand a month? Is it 10 grand a month? Is it 15 grand a month? Write it down. Write down a number. Every goal has got to be specific. Every goal has got to be measurable. Every goal has got to be achievable. It's got to be believable, and it's got to be time focused. So write down a number. Maybe it's the same number you're making right now with your full-time job. That's very believable because you've done it before. You've just done it in a different capacity. So you make 5 grand a month in your corporate job. 5 grand a month, maybe in 5. It's a very easy goal. It's just easy for your mind. So write it down. I am earning. The first step in achieving the goals to write down. Go to the next one. Next sheet. This is a business goals worksheet. On the count of 3, I want you to yell out the rank that you're going to walk the stage at by vitality. So the rank you're going to walk the stage at by vitality. 1, 2, 3. Love it. So here's what we got to do. Find the rank. Where's the rank? You guys point to the rank on your sheet of paper that you're going to need. Point to it. I need you guys to write down today's the date, but we're going to write down the date by the end of September. September 30th, 2015. Right? Because chances are you're not going to run to Ambassador with half the month, right? In October. You're going to run by September 30th, by the end of the month. So claim the date. So if you said national record should be the third one down. Today is September 30th, 2015. I'm a national director, 5,000 votes, equity qualifier, and I'm rewarding myself with. What's your reward for hitting it? I know, Brenda, what's your reward for hitting Ambassador? What's your reward for hitting Ambassador?
Going to Disney with my kids paying cash.
Going to Disney with the kids paying cash. Do the kids know? Do they ask you about it?
Every day.
Is it on your fridge?
It is.
It's got to be in front of you. You guys have it written down? Now you can stair step it. So if you wrote down PD or you wrote down 3-star, she might write down 2-star. So you might be 2-star, but you might have 1-star or recall, whatever it might be. You might have that halfway. The end of May, the end of June, you have like a center point. So if you want to hit national, maybe you fill out the regional director that you hit it by June 30th. You give yourself the short sprint, right? Incremental, short-term, measurable sprints. And then you know how to pace yourself. Hey, if you want to hit national, if you want to hit ambassador by vitality, you're like, well, I probably should be national by So this month you're like, I gotta shoot for 20,000. You gotta give yourself incremental goals. Now here's the thing, when I got started in buy, my goal was to make 10 grand a month by the end of the year. This was February. I hit that goal so quickly, I hit my first month. So I had to readjust. As soon as I hit ambassador, my very next morning, in fact, actually I hit PD my first month. That day, I set the goal to hit ambassador and follow. So on March 31st, I set the goal that April 30th I hit ambassador. Follow? Guess what day I hit ambassador? April 30th. And on May 1st, guess what I did? I set a new goal. And I wrote down, I am a 5-star ambassador by September 30th. 2001. I wrote it down. I had it in front of me. It was on my, my iMac. It was right there, right at the base of my iMac. So every day I was looking at it on the little index card. I had to see it every day, subconsciously. Guys, I was an ambassador. I didn't have any ambassadors on my team. I didn't even have a third leg. It was a number. Little 5,000 little leg. Didn't have a regional director. I didn't know idea. I just wrote it down. I'm like, that sounds good. That sounds good. Jason did it his first year. Why couldn't I? I like Joe. So I wrote it down. Now we're 6 months in. I remember September 1st, and I'm sitting there at 1 star. Still looking at my index. I'm 1-star ambassador on September 1st. 30 days. But that had been so imprinted in my mind. I'd been attracting people, we were popping PDs. All of a sudden, out of nowhere, a new superstar came in my third leg. Boom. Ambassador, ambassador, ambassador. We went from 1-star to 5-star in 30 days. I mean, it was like, whoosh. Guess what I did the very next morning? I set a goal. I'm in a Royal Ambassador. Now, I didn't believe I could do it by the following NST, so I was like, all right, vitality. So I decided, okay, July 1st. I don't know why I chose July 1st. Maybe I knew it would take backdating. But July 1st, 2012, I would be a Royal Ambassador. I am a Royal Ambassador. Guess what day I hit Royal Ambassador? That day, to the day that I set the goal, I hit Royal. Not a month early, not a month early. That day. Guess the mistake I made? Didn't set a goal. Guys, you've got to have a goal in front of you. My goal right now is to crown by September 30th, 2016. I'm very realistic. I got 1 5-star done. 2, longer term goal. But my short term goals are really simple. Like I have personal goals, like Josh, my personal goal is 2-star ambassador by September. So like, that's his position. So you have to have short incremental goals to get there. Does that make sense? Say yes? Yes. Okay. Next thing moving forward, we're going to blow through this and then again, is a commitment. I don't have time to go through all of this. Okay. But you've got to create a commitment plan. It's not about being in, it's about doing something consistently. So go a couple pages in, you're going to get to a commitment worksheet. Today we're going to make a commitment. And then I got to run. Okay? So commitment. The definition of commitment is doing the things that you said you do long after the mood you initially said it in has left you. Doing the thing that you said you would do long after the feeling's gone. Today you have the feeling, yesterday you had the feeling, tomorrow you still have the feeling, by Tuesday it's wearing off. By Wednesday, not feeling so hot. Thursday, your party sucked. And on Friday, you forgot the company name. Goals. Today we gotta make a commitment. You ready? Yes. Ready? Stand ready. Ready. I've completed this training. Oh, we didn't have to. Oh, I kind of like this. All right, we're gonna repeat it. That's a new idea. You're gonna sign. Okay. I have completed this training. 100%. I commit to being coachable. I'm prepared to learn from the best. I'm willing to make an 18-month commitment. Recognize it's going to take several months. fill that in. Building it in the following manner. Write down the activities you're going to take every day to build your business. Write down, you know what it is. You know, the average salesperson only works 90 minutes a day. The average full-time salesperson only works 90 minutes of pure work per day. Some of you guys were like, I don't watch TV, I don't know what Tara's talking about. You spend 8 hours a day on Facebook. I commit to spend X amount of hours per week building my buy business, fill it out. Building your business and your customer base. This is how we time management. I don't have time to teach you time today, but I'm going to show you something here in a second. 80% needs to be spent in front of prospects, yours or your team's. 80% of your day, 80% of you have 4 hours a day, that means that of those 4 hours, a little over 3 hours needs to be in front of prospects, on the phone with prospects, with your team's prospects. 80%. If you're spending 80% of your time on the phone with your team talking about how excited you are, it's probably why your check isn't growing. 19% should be team building, mentoring, and LID. How many guys are in LID? Raise your hand. How many guys want to be in LID? Raise your hand. Get with your upline. Get in the LID group. Get in a reproduction layer. We're going to teach you. It's our leadership platform. And 1% should be putting out fires. I'm going to teach you the magic of putting out fires. Somebody says to you, man, shit, it didn't come. You repeat after me. 1877. I'm so sorry to hear that. 1877. Now you guys are going to fill in the goals. Each day or week I'm going to challenge X amount of new people. On the count of 3, shout out the number you're going to challenge each week. 1, 2, 3. Each week, I will have achieved X amount of 3-way calls with my prospects and my support team. It's a little bit of thinker, right? You got to set a goal. My goal was 3 a day. That was aggressive. That's how I enrolled 35 people in 35 minutes. I went on a blitz. 3 a day. That's how Tara lost her voice my first week in the business. On the count of 3, how many 3-way calls are you going to do with your upline every week? Shout it out. 1, 2, 3. 3. You guys hear that? You're going to be very busy. Each week, I will personally host X amount of parties. And it might not be in your home. It might be with your customer. It might be with your newest promoter. But you are hosting. You're running that thing. You're blending the shake. Hey guys, welcome. I'm Andrea. Let me tell my story. You're up. You're hosting. Write it down. Count of 3. Yell it out. 1, 2, 3. We yell 10. Somebody's going to go fast. You guys have more parties than days. Like you're going to go fast. You get to a point where you're running 2 or 3 or 4 hours. Depends on doing 4 parties on a Saturday. 10, 2, 4, 6. I mean, it's like, if they were within driving distance, it was so easy. It could. That's just slower. But if you have to party for once a month. Each week, I will personally host X amount of challenge groups once I'm director. Write it down. This is kind of neat. We talked about reading new books. You guys got 2 new books. How many of you guys are going to buy Outliers and Talent Code now? I haven't read Talent Code. Outliers is very good. I can't wait to download it. How many books are you going to read a month? Write it down. Yell it out. 1, 2, 3. You guys have the systems in place. Some of you guys, you're not great readers. Technology has made me really antsy on reading. So I listen to more audiobooks now. I do both. But I like audiobooks. Nick listens to the audiobooks on double speed. Huh? What? Sounds like a chipmunk. 2 times. So it's twice. Does it on double speed. So we can get through. You can consume a book every week, every 2 weeks. It takes a little while. It takes a little while to get used to it. Maybe try 1.5. That's a tip. You guys write that down. How many new audios will you listen to in vet? There's 15 to 20 new ones a month. You guys don't even know that. That personality training is going to make it into vet. How many new audios? on bed. 20 minutes, listening to Tara Wilson's launching and relaunching call. Genius. How many new audios yelled out? 1, 2, 3? All of them. One a day? That'd be 7 a week. Some of you guys need so much personal growth, you need to be listening to 2, 3 a day. Some of you guys need to be spending an hour, 2, 3 hours a day in personal growth. You need to immerse yourself into skill and mindset development. Got to. So repeat after me. I agree to call my upline support team at regular periods. Give them an update on my progress. Know they've given up their time to make themselves available to help me. I agree to do the things that I agree to do the things I say I will do. And have committed to hear without excuse. Knowing that all excuses are equal. I agree to take full responsibility for my own business and building my Visalis team. If it's meant to be, it's up to me. Sign it. I'm going to give you a tip that I would have, and I would sit down with your upline before you leave today. And I'd have them look at this, I'd have them take a photo, I'd have them sign this. Make a pact. Take a photo, text it to your sponsor right now. Like, this is my commitment. This is what I'm going to do. Wallowers, wafflers, fence sitters, they don't become millionaires. They don't become six-figure incomers. Nobody's ever waffled their way, non-committed, to a full-time or six-figure income in network marketing or in business. Nobody says, I think I'm maybe potentially part-time in a restaurant and become successful. It was like, oh, I'm going to be a realtor, kind of me when I feel like it. They go broke. They go hungry. Now, I want to share with you guys before I leave. There's a lot of other good resources. How many of you guys already flipped through this? These little flipper throughs. Going ahead. There's a lot of other cool things in this. We're not going to go through today, but I want to give you access to. All this is going to be accessible on buyallstars.com. So as you're going to be able to download it on the team website, you're going to learn about how to talk to people now. In order to talk to people, you got to start a list. So if you scroll to the next page, you're going to learn about starting your list. Isn't that cool? Challenging other people. There is a prospect tracker. This is the same prospect tracker I've been using for 4 years. They're like, how do you track your prospects? A tracker. And I love crossing it out. I love highlighting them when they sign up. And I never really cross mine. I put a really thin line. So I can still see them. So you got to go with prospect trackers. You also have a customer GST and follow-up. How many guys love customer? Show of hands. How many guys want Jen stand up, Alyssa stand up, Andrea stand up, Julie Fry stand up, Renee stand up, Sandy stand up. What else we got? Where's over 3,000 to 4,000 PPV stand up? 3,000. We got everybody? Yeah. Perfect. All right. Anybody over 2,500 that I missed? Yeah. Dolphin. Woo! Pauline. All right. This, guys, is what they're doing, but they don't know they're doing it. But it's what you're doing. This is what you're doing. They're getting their customers started. They're asking great questions. They're finding out their goals. They're taking their measurements, taking their weight, meeting up with them. Now you guys have a system. You're welcome. Yeah, thank you. Guys, this is the plan. Remember I talked about 2,500 PPV? How many guys would mind making $625 extra a month? Or like Jenna, she's like, I made $6,000 last month. How much you guys would mind making $6,000 for customers? This is genius. We took all of our top customer acquirers in the company, I drilled them for an hour, and I came up with this. So this is my genius. I just typed it. And so they show you what they've done on enrolling a customer, the follow-ups, and then there's a GST questionnaire. This is your customer getting started training. Every shape kid that gets started, you're going to walk them through a GST. Does every promoter get a GST? Yeah, every customer now can get a GST. So you're gonna ask them, hey, Vicki, is your goal to lose it or move it? Awesome. And what's your 90-day goal? And 12 months from now, what are you looking to improve? Hey, what exercise are you currently taking in? How much water are you drinking? You're asking questions. You're also gonna find out some really interesting stuff. Hey, do you take any other supplements? Yeah, multivitamin. Oh man, you gotta take off. So much better. Let me tell you about the body. How serious are you? 1 to 10. So when they want to cancel their ownership, it's like, you told me you were a 10. Send it back to it. Who needs to be doing this challenge with you? Breakfast, right? You're going to go down their sample day, what they normally eat, what they normally drink. Do you know why? You're finding out how much they're spending. Because if you write this down, let's say you haven't even signed them up yet, and you find out they're spending $15 a day on fast food or eating out, transformation kit, baby. Guess I'm going to save $8 a day. Eating out habits, etc. And then this is your tracker follow-up, right before the orange page. So you can follow up and say, hey, Julie, how's it going? Great. Excuse me. Are you here? She's lost 14 pounds and she's eating carrots. Very well. So what was you had your weight today? What was your weight? I gotta say, 105. You have it all over things like that, we do. But okay, great, awesome. And you guys, if you have body fat calibers, you guys can get those body fat calibers. They're so easy. They can hold on to them. They can get on the little body fat scales. Whatever, just beneficial. Waist measurements, do their things. How's your energy levels doing? Awesome. Are you taking your 2 meals a day? Your 2 buy meals? What are you snacking up?
Bye-bye. Vegetables.
Have you joined a challenge group yet? Okay, awesome. Hey, and who are 3 people that you know that needs to do this challenge? What's their name?
Jenny Meyer, Will Klein, and Ryan Don.
Okay, can I call Jenny with you? Or for you? What's her number? Guys, this is simple. You want to keep your customers instead of 60 to 90 days, you want to keep them for 6 months?
Yes.
You follow up on them once or twice a month. You ask them how they're doing. You set up a follow-up time with them. Guys, we're going to build a multi-billion-dollar company. We are not a turn and burn company. We're not salespeople. We're coaches. Guys, we are mentors. We're going to change your life. You're going to get people that you've mentored to 253 pounds lost. This is your paycheck. Is it easier to get a customer or keep one? Does it take more energy to get one or keep one? How many guys admit that you don't follow up with customers? It's awful. But we promise them that we're going to help them this way. We promise them a transformation. Yes.
What is your best tip on organizing your files?
I have a binder that I use.
Okay. So are they all
They're all by my favorites. Like I like this person best. This person not so much. This person's a pain in the butt. Just by who's active in ordering. What if you called your customers once a month and got referrals? What if you called your customers once a month and said, hey, we got a new product coming up. Hey, we got a new product that's coming in very early. What if you called them just to say hi? What if you called them or sent them a card on their birthday because you wrote it down? Do you think that person's going to remember? Do you think that person's going to refer you? Guys, I made $104,000 through selling 62-cent greeting cards. Let me repeat that. I made $104,000 selling 62-cent greeting cards. You know why? Because I remembered everything about them. I remember their birthday, I remember their anniversary, I remember everything. Some of you guys are just going to do this digitally. I don't care if you take this idea and you do it digitally, do it in Excel, because you're more of a files guy. But this is something we got to do. And if you want to hit regional, if you want to hit national, you got to do this not only for yourself, you got to teach your team. How many of you guys can sit down with some of these cool files and just go teach your team when you go home? Do it. Nothing is stopping you. You are an owner of this business. Are you an owner?
Yes.
So what is going to stop you from going to your 3 promoters back home and saying, listen, have to do a challenge book. Hey, we're gonna print them off. We're gonna go through some things. This is how we take care of customers. Hey, let's go through your goals. Let's go through your commitments. Let's go through what you want to achieve. What is gonna stop you? You own this business, so own it. You have all the tools, and we're gonna add more if it's necessary. There's lots of other things. Go over the orange page. Have you guys struggled with time management? Have a calendar now. I can't teach time management. Maybe we'll do a webinar. Maybe I'll do it Vitality. You guys want me to teach time management Vitality? Yes. I'll give you a little training on a Monday call. But we can dive really into it. We have to choose topics if we don't have so much time. We can do it on Beth, yeah. That sounds good. I'll do it at an LST report we'll put on Beth. Quote of the day, follow-up today I'm grateful for. That's your daily. And if you go a little bit further, you'll find your monthly. So you can put all your challenge parties right here. All your customer parties right here. You can write down the rank you're running for right here. Do this with your team. And then lastly, after the red one, you got your challenge groups. Your challenge groups, you're tracking them, what exercise they're doing, where they're meeting, who's the host of them. You guys like, gotta be organized, you gotta know what your stuff's going. You got a sign-in sheet. Again, you guys will be able to print off tons of these. How many of you guys want a fail-proof meal plan to lose weight? You guys know as a nutritionist before buy? This will work for 99% of people. Prove it. There's only weight loss, it's not building. And then you guys can actually track your own. Empty. Track what you're doing. If you're not taking your challenge seriously, you're not tracking it, and you're not losing weight, how is this coach? I took a girl who was quite large. I'm talking about nearly 250 pounds, and she was not losing weight. Not in Europe, not losing weight. The shakes aren't working, I'm really nervous. It's not working. I'm like, you should be dropping a lot of weight every week. Something is wrong. So for 2 weeks, I gave her the empty one. I had her track it. This is how you teach your customers, by the way, who are saying, I'm not losing weight. I gave them the tracker for 2 weeks. They filled it out. She sent it back to me. And it wasn't that it was bad. She was eating 9 times a day. But little tiny little meals. Like 9 times. Like, you know that you can eat too much, right? Like too often. You're not even giving your body like a chance to like not eat fast for a while. Like her blood sugar was going crazy all day. And then soon she'd have days where she was under eating, then days she'd have like 10 pancakes for dinner. I'm like, no wonder you're eating to maintain your weight right now, which is a lot. And really consistent. So we got her on this meal plan exactly minus crunch. We're going to crunch in Europe. And she lost 6 pounds her first week. Guys, this works. So these are just some of the cool things, and I was the only one that put this together. Give it up for your ambassadors for working their asses off. They really do that. They know me. So I appreciate you guys. I get the honor to bring up your amazing...
What's the applicant that you have to be on the spreadsheet?
What's that? Yeah. And we do questions after and all that. So we got a little bit more time. If you guys gotta leave. But if you can stay, this training's gonna be awesome. This is all gonna be the mechanicals. You know what you gotta do. You know what we gotta do, right? You know why you gotta do it. We have a focus. Now we're gonna show you how. And these 3 ladies combined have made 200,000, 425, and 475,000. So $90 million? $1.1 million in combined earnings in the last couple of years. They've helped tens of thousands of people lose weight. They've helped thousands of people make money. Combined, probably about 700 people earn a BMW. So I want you guys to absolutely give them a lot of love, a lot of attention. Please welcome Patty Rotman. Woo!